My name is Dan Delgado. I am a senior.
At first glance, Dan looks like every other kid, living life to the fullest. But when you dig deeper, you find out what this upbeat college kid is really going through.
Yeah, my sophomore year of high school, I woke up one morning and I went to go brush my teeth. And when I went in the bathroom, I went to go brush my teeth and I couldn't grip my toothbrush. So I'm in there and it's really hard for me to just grasp it really firmly. So I'm all right, well, this is weird. So I go to tell my mom, I didn't think of anything of it. Maybe I was just being, I slept on it all night. When you sleep on your arm, it gets numb. So then I went to go talk to her about it, and I was talking to her, and they all, my stepdad's in the room, and they're all looking at me what? And I was I can't feel, my arm's really numb. And they're what are you saying? And I'm looking at them, and I'm my arm's numb. But to them, I was speaking another language, because I couldn't talk either, I guess. To myself, I sounded fine, but to them, it came out like gibberish.
People seemed to realize that what Dan was going through wasn't normal, but no one could pinpoint exactly what was wrong.
We're in there, we're trying to figure it out, if I had a stroke, and my parents didn't really tell me anything, and they were okay. So then they told me, they were Dan, they think you had a stroke, and you may have something else, multiple sclerosis, stuff like that. So then it was okay, wow. I mean, obviously you want to tell what's going to happen and be as forward as possible to your patients, stuff like that. But telling a 15-year-old by the time I'm 40, which, I mean, I'm not super old, but, I'm still been kicking it. And to be telling someone that 16, 15, that you're not going to be able to walk or you need a wheelchair by 40. And my dad's 55, he walks fine. And, he's a handyman. So, to hear that was really, it hit hard.
After being diagnosed with MS, Dan had to face his next challenge, finding new friends at his new school.
I went through sophomore year, the whole year dealing with that. So the whole year was PT, get Dan back to where he needed to be, and all that stuff. So the next year came, and I was sitting at the same lunch table with the same kids, that was really cool. And one of the kids, Leon, he was hey, we're looking for kids to play volleyball. Does anyone want to try out?
My high school season, junior and senior season, we were looking for extra players, and so asked him to join the team that way. And I was hey, he's a good kid, obviously. And I was hey, play the sport, you might like it, you might enjoy it.
I thought, why not? I used to play soccer at my old high school, with all my friends there. Now I'm not doing a sport, so why not?
Dan had finally found his passion, and on top of that, it gave him an escape from the problems he was facing outside of school.
The reason I'm so in depth with volleyball, because volleyball it's weird to say, because for people to say sport saved you is really weird, but it did. I was so depressed after figuring all that stuff out. Is my life harder than anyone else's? No. Are there people who have harder lives than me? Of course. But being 16 and learning that you have a disease like that, and you don't know anyone else who has it harder than you. So for you, it's the hardest thing in the world. Going to volleyball and telling my coach, hey, I have this disease and stuff like that. And she looked at me, she was all right, well, go run. I don't know why you're still talking to me. And it was kind of cool, because it was I'm every other kid. I'm every other kid fighting for a spot. I'm every other kid trying as hard as possible.
He's a strong kid. He's got a lot going for him. He wants to strive and succeed, and he always pushes himself to the limit. So
volleyball, like I said, it saved my life, and I wouldn't, if I had to choose between anything else on this campus or the volleyball team, I would have chosen the volleyball team first over anything. I don't know how I would have been, what kind of kid I would have been had I not have volleyball. I don't know if I would have been a shut-in. I don't know if I would have got angry at having MS and done, terrible things, just, things I shouldn't be doing, or getting involved with drugs or anything. I don't know.
While Dan had high praises for the sport of volleyball, his friends had the same feelings towards Dan himself.
Overall, he's just such a great kid. Now, since the first day of practice, getting to know him more and more, and then him asking me to hang out with him, that was just awesome. He made me just feel, again, very comfortable. I'm just very fortunate to have him in my life, so it's pretty cool.
I would say Dan is very positive. He makes an impact. When he walks in the room, that Dan has arrived.
Awesome, a great guy. That is Daniel.
Like his friends, Dan had nothing but nice things to say about the ones who were always there for him, both on and off the court.
Whether I'm a pain at practice to try and get better and try and develop the team, whether I'm funny at practice, whether I'm sad at practice, whether I'm angry, I just want to say I love you for accepting me and accepting who I am and allowing me to be able to fully understand what it is to be a volleyball player and play volleyball. Next step is coach. I would love to coach. I would love to coach volleyball. Because, I mean, my coach did so much for me, you know, treating me like a normal kid, making me feel normal, making me feel welcome, making me feel like I could improve, making me feel like I could be inspired and to inspire. And I would love nothing more to be able to just coach a high school team from the ground up.
Dan's last season on the volleyball court with the Sacred Heart Club team resulted in a 5th place finish at championships, the team's most successful season to date. Now, we just have to wait and see if Dan's dream of becoming a high school volleyball coach becomes a reality. Reporting for The Pulse, I'm Gino Ganello.